ugh. What's that? That's that torturous sound when you feel like you've just hit the dead end, where you feel like you've done everything that you could do to move an initiative forward and it ain't moving and you just got nothing left. There's nothing more you can do. You've done everything that you could, or so you think. Well, here's the deal. You haven't, and there is. And today I'm going to share with you 3 ways to keep you moving forward with your initiative when you are just ready to throw your hands up and say, I give. I give. Let's not let you give. Let's keep you moving forward. And if you want my notes so you can have them in hand to keep you moving when you're in those stuck points, and you want information about how to register for my upcoming free masterclass where I will share the system of transformation, the system of how to build success, drop the word action in the comment section and we will make sure that we get that to you. And if you're liking what you're hearing and you're agreeing and you're resonating, make sure that you drop some thumbs up and some smiley faces and all of those good things in the comment section so I know that I am meeting your needs. My name is Felicia Searcy. It is my joy to be your partner in believing. I have had the honor of helping thousands of people around the world build out lives that they love, and it is my joy to share this process, a piece of my system with you today to help you move when you're just at that place of wanting to throw your hands up and say, that's it. There's nothing more that I can do. Because the deal is there always is something more that you can do. Luce knows that. I see that Luce is watching this. You know, whether you're watching this live or watching the replay, put the word action in to have so we can get those training notes and help you get registered for my free upcoming masterclass where I will share the full system of success. Today, we're going to go about 20-30 minutes and I'm sharing a portion of that system to help you when you reach that place of exasperation and it feels like that there's nothing more that you can do. You know what I'm talking about. We've all been there, that you're pouring your life force, you're pouring your energy into something that's deeply meaningful to you. And you know, it may be moving along, but it's not moving along at the rate that you want it to. And you just hit that point where it feels like you've exhausted all ideas, all opportunities. You're looking out on like this desert. It feels like it's just this desert of what do I do next? Like there's the wind, you can just hear the wind blowing the sand over any suggestion of a path or a trail or a step. And your heart just sinks because you're thinking, I ain't got nothing left. I got nothing. I'm coming up with nothing. And you start entertaining that thought, well, maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to do. Maybe this really isn't God's will. If this was God's will, Emily, this one's for you. This one's for you, Emily. And Emily, you are so brilliant and so committed, but to your dream, your desire. But it's that, you know, it's hitting that place of where the wind is just blowing through you. And it's like, I ain't got nothing. I got nothing. What do you do when you hit that spot? Drop some thumbs up in the comment section if you've ever hit that place where, you know, you're moving an initiative forward and it's not moving the way that you want it to, and you're just dried up. You're like the Sahara Desert, which, by the way, I've been in. I know what the Sahara Desert looks like. And it really is all sand. You know, I've been in it and I've flown over it when we flew from Cairo to Aswan. But drop some thumbs up in the comment section if you've ever hit that place where it just felt like the desert in terms of ideas and opportunities or knowing what your next step is. And you just stand frozen in this desert of no man's land. And this is that really dangerous point where that insidious voice starts wanting to creep in. Mary, it is so good to see you here today. And Mary, you've been brilliant at staring this voice down. And this would be a good one, Mary, for you to apply with your own beautiful coaching business. But you're standing on the edge of the Sahara Desert, and it just feels like the wind's blowing through you, and you're at a loss. What do I do now? What's my next step? And it's like you become frozen, because what if I take this and it doesn't work? And what if I pour all this energy into something and it just keeps circling around? It just keeps going nowhere. This is when that insidious voice wants to start creeping in. You can just feel it, where it wants to start creeping in. And you hear this voice starting to say, maybe you really don't want to do this. Maybe this isn't really God's will. Maybe there's something better. Maybe water it down a little bit. Maybe not expect too much. Maybe back away. It's in that place where it just feels like the desert of ideas, the desert of opportunities, the deserts of what next action is, that just that sneaky, just voice wants to creep in and chip away at your resolve and maybe hijack your dream altogether. Well, here's what to do to make sure that that doesn't happen. So yes, been there. Yes, Severina. And any of you, I mean, I've been there, and I'm going to share with you an example of when I've been there, so you can see what this looks like in real time. If any of you have ever been there, drop some thumbs up or been there in the comment section, so we know that you're not alone. And some of you may be there right now. And so just feel my arms wrapping around you and know that there is something more for you to do, and you haven't done everything. And here's how I know why that's true. So, so step number one, to move you beyond the desert of what seems to be the desert of ideas and opportunities. Number one, go back to your vision. Connect back to your vision. Yes, yay, Emily. And Emily, I saw your vision come through. I think it was yours. I was scanning emails looking for something, and I think I saw your email come through with your vision as a client. I'm thrilled that I get to put my eyes on your vision. So good for you, Emily. So you want to connect back with your vision. You want to bring your vision back to mind. One of the key pieces that I share with you during these live broadcasts, and anytime I work with somebody, is that you want a vision that when you think about it, when you relate to it, and when you read it, because one of the things I always teach my folks to do, and I walk you through a process on how to write your vision. When you read your vision, you want your whole system to light up. And you want to hear yourself say, oh, I love that. I love that idea. Because of that 10 level fuel and desire is not there, then the desert's going to win. The desert's going to get you, because you got to have that fuel for love to give you what you need to stand in the face of the desert and turn that desert into a beautiful, thriving green garden. So I'm going to go with this whole desert analogy here. Here's the other thing. So go back to your vision, reconnect with your vision. Ask yourself, do I love my vision? Now, if the answer is no, then you want to keep going back to, what would I love? What would I love? Go back to the fundamental question. I know I'm kind of slipping over that rather quickly, because that's not the main thrust of this teaching today, but it is an important piece of it. And if you want more about the whole system, then join me for my upcoming masterclass, and put the word action in the comment section, and we'll make sure that you get registered. But you want to stay in the question, the most powerful question that you can ask. What would I love? So what would I love? And let yourself keep going down below the doubt, what the facts may be saying, your beliefs, and stay in that question. What would I really love? Now, Let's assume you've tapped into that. Let's assume that you have a vision that you are in love with. And for those of you that are building your vision out, as you're listening to this, think about the pieces of your vision that you know for sure. So like Emily, you know you want a rich, thriving relationship with your husband and your kids. You have a beautiful vision in your relationship with your kids. Luce, when we first started working together, and Luce, feel free to share particularly as a member of you're a gold member, and you were in that deep intensive program, and now you're in my a beautiful member of my deep dive, and Emily, beautiful member of my life mastery group. Luce, I would love for you to share when it felt like, particularly you were bumping up against your relationships, and it felt like all was lost. I mean, you've so generously shared, particularly around your daughter in these kind of venues. What was it? What was the divine inspiration that came to you to help you transform that relationship with your daughter? And Luce applied this formula. So you go back to your vision, and then you realize, one of the things that I realized, and I watched Luce do this with her, particularly with your daughter, when you feel stuck, it's because in that moment, you have disconnected from the source of brilliance, and you are wholly dependent on you. You know you've reached this point when you hear yourself saying things like, I just got to figure this out. I just have to figure this out. When you hear yourself using the words, I have to figure this out, know in that moment you have disconnected from the stream of intelligence, and now you are 100% dependent on your human intellect. You're brilliant. I mean, every single one of you, whether I see your names or you're watching the replay, you're brilliant. But your brilliance is finite. It's limited. True brilliance comes when we tap into the stream of infinite brilliance. And when we get hunkered down and we're logically trying to figure things out, or we're logically trying to follow a sequence, and you want to not only see the next step, but you want to see the step after that, step after that, step after that. In that moment, know that you are dependent on your own finite human intelligence, and you have lost connection with the stream of infinite brilliance that's always speaking to us. So connect back to your vision, and then connect back to the stream of intelligence that gave you the idea for the vision in the first place, and is always supplying you with everything that you need to move your initiative forward. That's step number one. Step number one, connect back to your vision. Step two, let me make sure that I've got these the way that I've got them written down. All right, so step two is to work with these two questions. So you're connected to your vision, you're connected back into the stream of intelligence. Step two, work with these two questions. Question number one, if I really believed my dream was possible, what's the action step I would take, and say within the next 24 to 48 hours? If I really believed my dream was possible, what's the next action step I would take? What makes this question so powerful is that most of the time you really do know what your next action step is. And remember, it's divinely inspired, which means it's probably an action step that's asking you to move beyond your container of what you've done up to this point. It's probably asking you to take a really bold step. So it's not that we don't know what to do. It's you don't want to do the thing that this stream of intelligence is encouraging and inviting you to do. So let me give you an example. Some of you have heard this story before, so put it on again with a new set of eyes. When my husband and I moved from Phoenix to Tennessee, we made a decision to open a business. Did a lot of research, discovered the business that we wanted to open. We're really excited about it. And we were really committed to physically owning the building and the land. So the land and the property. We did not want to lease. We wanted to own it. And we could, when we went to the bank was willing to finance the amount of money that would allow us to lease. They would not finance, and when I say the bank, multiple banks, they would not finance the actual purchase of the land and the building because we didn't have the down payment with what we could see. And I want you to hear this, and what we were willing to access and to use. We didn't have what was required to buy the property and the land. We were very clear in our vision, very clear. And it felt like we had exhausted all possibilities and we'd run out of options. And I'll never forget this conversation. Before we left Phoenix, now we were in our, I was 35, Michael was 46. When we left Phoenix, we had a certain amount of money in a retirement, in a 401k. And we swore we would not touch that money in that 401k. Now think about this. Think about what you have said is off limits, whether it's an action, whether it's a resource. But remember, when you're asking the question, if I really believe my dream was possible, and to realize that oftentimes you know what the action step is, but there's a part of you that, you know, it feels like that you're giving up more than what you think you're going to get in return, that the risk is too great because, you know, what if you lose everything that you've built up to this point? And this dream is certainly no guarantee, which is why I keep bringing you back to number one, which is you want something that you are so in love with that you couldn't imagine life without it. So we had made our retirement our sacred cow. We weren't going to touch this. And we kept getting bank after bank after bank. You don't have what we need for a down payment. You don't have what we need for a down payment. And we realized in that moment that our next indicated step is that if we did not want to water our dream down and we didn't want to settle for leasing, but that we actually wanted to aim for eventually owning the property and the land, the land and the building right out. And the reason why I say this, because they were actually two separate loans. You get a construction loan for the building, and then there was a loan for the property. That we had to be willing to take that step that just absolutely terrified both of us. Go back to number one. When you're staring down that step and it feels like you're in the desert, but what you're really doing is looking at a cliff, thinking that if you walk off this cliff, so just hang with all of my metaphors and analogies here, that you know, the desert now just turned into a cliff. And if you take that step and step off of that cliff, then you stand the chance to lose everything. You want to go back to your vision because you want the vision to be such that if you don't live into your vision, it's going to feel like that you're living in an endless desert. So we got really clear that this was if we really wanted this, if we were doing this, this was the step that we had to take. And the moment we made that decision, it was stunning how things started opening up. Doesn't always happen that way. I am not going to say, oh, in the world, you know, the universe just opens up the doors. A lot of times that does happen, and a lot of times it doesn't. That's why you have to keep going back to your vision and trusting the power of your vision, and then trusting the power that gave you the vision. As you connect into that and you take that bold step. So as we took that bold step, you know, like I said, you know, banks all of a sudden, I mean, we had what was required to take the action step to physically buy the property and the building and eventually own it. And that money multiplied exponentially, not just once, not just twice, but it kept giving back because it gave back for every year that pretty much every year that we were in business. Now, again, it doesn't always work out that way. And if you have a dream that you are in love with, you stay with it until you get a return on whatever the bold action step was for you. So the first question in the second step, remember there's 2 questions in the second step. If I really believe this dream was possible, what's an action step for me to take within the next 24 to 48 hours? Share it. If you know what that action step is, I encourage you to share it in the comment section so we can support you in at least considering taking that step. All right, so here's the second question, and this is a Thomas Edison question. The question is, what can I do where I am with what I have? What can I do where I am with what I have? I'm hoping you're writing those down. In fact, hey, James, really good to see you here. Severina, would you put that question in the comment section, both of those in the comment sections? If I really believed my dream was possible, what's the action step I would take within the next 24 to 48 hours? And what can I do where I am with what I have? That keeps bringing us back to step 1, connecting to your vision and connecting to the stream of intelligence. Because when you're asking that question, now you're thinking from the state of awareness of vision, and you're able to see things that are not available to you at the state of awareness of stuckness. You're able to see ideas. You're able to hear ideas, see opportunities, see resources that have always been there. There's a great story about a shoe salesman that goes to, let's say that, places like, there's still places in, down in South America in the rainforest, let's say in the Amazon, where the beautiful native people are not wearing shoes. And there's 2 salesmen that go down there to try to build a shoe selling business. And the first salesman goes down and he sees all the beautiful people, the members of this tribe. It's like, oh my God, none of them are wearing shoes. And so he rushes back to where he can get to a phone and he calls his company. He says, stop all orders. This place is an abyss. Nobody wears shoes down here. We'll never sell shoes. Send me someplace else. So he hops on a plane and he goes someplace else. Second salesman, do what you can where you are with what you have, has a vision of supporting people who want shoes to wear shoes. Goes and he sees this beautiful tribe of people where nobody's wearing shoes. And he runs back to the phone. He says, oh my God, start the manufacturer, start the factory lines. This place is a hotbed, a possibility. Nobody wears shoes down here. Same situation, different level of awareness, different level of perspective around opportunities. So to track your ideas, this is what I invite you to do. And this is what I teach my clients to do. I am giving you what I give, my clients invest. I'm giving you this technique so you can go move your feet right away. So you're asking the question, what can I do where I am with what I have? You get a pad of paper and you write down every single idea that comes to you. No censoring. There's a part of you that may want to argue with some of these ideas. But you turn that part off and realize that you are tapping into a stream of intelligence that's so much bigger than what your human intellect can figure out. So you're writing down every single idea that comes to you. You're writing that down when you're asking, if I really believe this dream was possible, what's the action step I would take, and what can I do where I am with what I have? Write them all down. I tell my folks not to let yourself off the hook until you come up with 20 ideas. Now, for my husband and I, it was obvious, but many of you have worked with this, where you're writing down all the ideas that are coming to you. This is gold right here, people. If you are on the edge of that desert abyss where it feels like there's nothing more that you can do, This piece of information right here is gold for you if you act on it. So you write down all the ideas that come to you. Then you go back to that list, and some of those ideas are going to pop, like for us, being willing to let go of our retirement. I'm not telling anybody to do that. That's what we were very clear was our step of faith. What can we do where we are with what we have? And we really believed this dream was possible. We weren't going to save just in case we failed, that we were pushing all our chips in the middle of the table. So you go through your list, excuse me. You write down every single idea. And then you go through your list and you're circling the ones that pop. Not all of them are going to feel juicy. So circle the ones that pop for you, that have electricity. Not the ones that are easy and comfortable. Remember, step number one, you're reconnecting to your vision, because chances are there's an action step that is for you to take, but it just scares the bejeebies out of you. But you want to get out of that desert and into the garden of your dream. Oh, that's good. Samarita, write that. That's a tweetable. Move out of your desert into the garden of your dream. That's good. And if you tweet that, tweet your ultimate life now, or hashtag your ultimate life now. I love it when those drop in. So, circle those, and then when you have that list, now you're going to put them in the order upon which you are going to act. You're going to act on these ideas. Don't let them just sit on your tablet or on your paper. You want to pull those ideas out, and you want to put them in order according to when you're going to act on them. Now, then you're going to, yeah, hashtag your ultimate life now. I love it. Tweet it, post it on, or put it on, post it on Facebook and tag me, so I can celebrate that with you as you're moving out of your desert and into the garden of your dream. All right, so put them in order, and then I get so excited I lose track. All right, and then you want to physically put them on your calendar. You want to calendarize them. So the universe sees that you're being a good steward of these ideas and you're acting on these ideas, because once you get them on your calendar, then you want to serve them. All right. So if you want my notes, so you physically have my notes to be able to track this information and to sign up for my masterclass, put the word action in the comment section. And if you're digging this at all, put some thumbs up and hearts in the comment section. And I would love to see the ideas. Just as you're sitting here, I'm betting the ideas are starting to pop, and I hope you're tracking those. My people have been trained. You all that are clients have been trained to track the ideas as they come to you, because we are in a high speed zone of brilliance and intelligence. All right, so number 3, third thing, borrow somebody else's brilliance. We are not meant to do this alone. And it's stunning the power that can happen when you're just standing on that desert of dryness of ideas and opportunities and momentum, and you let somebody else who you respect and has a high degree of awareness and believes in you and your dream, that you let them put their eyes on your dream. You let them pour their brilliance on your dream. Now, I walk people through a whole system of how to tap into other people's brilliance. And one of the things that I tell you, and again, those of you that when we're working together, you know this, that when somebody offers you a suggestion, when somebody offers you an idea, you go to them and they offer you an idea, that you don't get to argue with it. You don't get to say, I've done this before, it didn't work, or here's why it won't work. All you do is write it down and you say thank you, and then be with it. Even if you've tried it a million times before, if it's coming back around again, that means there's something more there for you to see, to be revealed, and possibly to do differently. So write it down, thank your person. If you have questions, allow your person to share a little bit more information about what they mean about that, and then see what is the piece here for you to take and to act on. All right, so number 1, reconnect to your vision. And remember, to go beyond just you figuring out and tap into the stream of intelligence. As you do that, go to number 2, where you're asking these 2 questions. What can I do where I am with what I have? And if I really believed my dream was possible, what is the action step I would take within the next 24 to 48 hours? And number 3, borrow somebody else's brilliance. You're more than welcome to drop what you would love my eyes on, and I would be more than happy to pour, my support, my love, my awareness and expertise on, wherever your stuck point is, regardless whether or not we're working together. I just want you to move your feet. And if you want my notes and you want more information about how to come on to my upcoming free masterclass, where I'm going to share the whole system of transformation, drop the word action in the comment section. All right. Well done. You stayed on for the whole thing. Congratulate yourself for giving yourself 30 minutes of deep awareness training so you can keep your feet moving. It has been my joy to serve you in this way. We will be back here live next week. New topic, same time. You're on the list, getting information. I think we'll make sure that if you want to, we'll get you on the list so you know when I'm going live. All right, so it is my joy to be your partner in believing, and I know that if you can think it up, the power in you that gave you the idea in the first place knows how to bring it into the forms of your life. Just know how much I deeply love and appreciate you, and I'm thrilled for you and your dream and the people that are going to be impacted by your dream. See you next week. Mwah. God bless. Oh, I'm Felicia Searcy. All right, God bless.